also on the sliding hill and on that issue, we've heard rumors that that is no longer going to be a designated trout lake.
It isn't a designated trout lake. DNR says it's not anymore.
The DNR also says it is. Okay, so there does have to be clarification. And if it's not going to be a designated trout lake, then the community should look at access and stocking. If they're not going to trout it, either the community can maybe trout it, or my suggestion would be a panfish lake in there. Probably bluegills, because they'll so propagate. Trout won't in there. Trout have to be stocked in that lake to be caught in that lake. Interesting.
Call that a rearing pond, it just makes them bigger. So they can transplant them somewhere else.
They don't, it's not even a rearing pond, it's just a dizzy. Because there's no flowing water, right? They won't spawn.
Well, what are we going to do about that? Should we instruct Sherry to write a letter to Tommy Archer and see if?
You know, before you can write a letter to Tommy Archer, you have to come up with a plan that he can either say, yeah, this works, or no, this doesn't.
Oh, I thought you guys already talked about what land was going to be switched first. Okay.
You're going to have the legal boundaries of what the township owns marked, and the legal boundaries of what that access is now, so you know acreage, and it's basically the square footage.
That conceivably though would allow access to that lake, if that swap was made.
Yes, it would. I've already walked back in there.
Yeah.
And it would be good for him too, because there is a
Right.
flowage out of that lake that leaves that corner unusable for him. And so I believe it's very feasible.
What about that trail on the other end, on the north end?
Well, we're getting kind of off topic of light switches for the hill here. So, there's a switch on there, correct?
No.
No, that's what we're discussing. We're going to put on.
We need one.
Yeah.
Need one.
We need one.
The light's constantly running.
That way we don't have to pay
Is
so much.
there a breaker on that pole? Breaker box?
Yeah, there's a little box on there so we can run power off of it. We're on 200 amps.
Well, why don't we just turn that off during the summer then? Just put a lock on the box and hit the main power switch.
Is that our breaker box, or that's their breaker box that we don't have access?
Yeah, I don't believe that we can put a lock on it. Yeah, that's like a Power's property. It's metered and, yeah.
Below the meter's yours.
Right. If there's a box there, we
If
have
there's a switch on it, it's yours.
The only question is if the box controls the light up above. Why wouldn't it?
Just take the meter out.
Yeah, control light up above. Why else would the box be there?
Is there actually a meter there?
I'm sure there is. They don't let us have power for nothing.
Yeah, 200 amps, so that we can actually run power back if we ever decide to do that at someday.
Yeah.
Sure.
Don't add
A lot of times they don't meter a lake. And they could be flat feet, because they know when that light's coming.
I'm gonna stop and look at that tomorrow and see what we got there, because if it's our box, why can't we just turn the switch on and off ourselves instead of buying another switch? Yeah, we're gonna have to do that.
I think what's there is they have a little lock on it.
Right.
Ours is the same thing too.
The other question for that is, if it's not going to change the monthly rate, what's the reason for shutting it
Well,
off?
you're paying the $20 monthly rate, just a service fee, just to have that light hooked up.
Yeah, but then you pay.
Then there's the power bill on top of that. Either way, we're paying this $20 a month service charge.
But then there's an electric charge.
Right.
That's a save us that monthly charge
It'll co-op for you.
on the running. So we'll have to look at it.
We're going to have to fund that with the mail.
I'll look at that. Take a look at it at some point here. So we'll just kind of look at things, figure out what we can do about it.
Supervisor Flix, are you going to report on that then the next board meeting?
Oh, I'll take one. I mean, if it's ugly, he's not gonna talk about it.
I'll come back kind of charred then, because it's hot. Curly hair all of a sudden.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move move on here to new business. National Night Out recap, pretty much.
Do you want my photos, or Mark, you're just gonna, you guys are just gonna have a ton of photos for that night then?
I would imagine.
Okay, then I won't worry about it. I just took like 5 anyway.
Yeah.
Pretty much covered everything on the National Night Out. Business item B. It's sign concerns with Island Beach, whatever it is.
Mr. Chair, I see no problem having 2 different signs on that. I mean, if 911, all the 911 first responders in this township know which road is what. The only time you're gonna have problems is somebody from out of town. But if you got 2 road names there, you gotta follow one of them.
The only thing about the whole deal is that I don't know where it got changed, because it, like I say, I've lived here 20, going on 28 years, year round. I've been there since all my life, until I moved up year round. But it's never had any other sign but Island Beach Drive. That's the only thing we're saying. Why it's got to be changed now.
I would like to make a motion to change the sign completely to say West Island Beach Drive.
Not west, just
East.
Island Beach Drive.
You can't just do
Island
that.
Beach Drive.
You can't just do that. Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, can I speak to this?
Go ahead, Mark. It's
That name is legally registered as East Island Beach Lane. That was done when 911 did the readdressing. Was that 84 or 85, I believe, somewhere in there. And that was when the road changed names, and it was required at that time by 911 because they wanted a different road name when it changed from township road to private road. And so there was 2 issues, and the township fought it at that point, said it was totally unnecessary, and they said it was necessary at that point. The road changes direction, even though it's slightly. The road changes direction from the township road to the private road. And they said because of that change of direction and going to private road, it needed to have a new road name, a different road name than the township road.
Why was it never enacted?
It was.
But I mean, and there was never a sign.
You know, I don't even remember that.
Well, I know.
In fact, Island Beach Lane, West Island Beach Lane didn't have a road name for
A long time.
no.
I'm just saying the first sign that we all agreed on that we were gonna have there was Island Beach Drive. Now there's 14 people that are seasonal on our road, and there's 7 year-rounds. And we all agreed Island Beach Drive was going to be the name that was going to be out there on Fredenberg Lake, at the corner of Fredenberg Lake and Island Beach Drive.
But you couldn't, as your road association, agree to that legally. You had no jurisdiction over that road. That's 911 and the township.
But
Because
where,
it's
Mark,
township
is
road.
that written in the record? I mean, I'll give you, for instance, my nephew brought me some of the best maps I've ever gotten since I've lived there, that he took off his computer in California, and it was Island Beach Drive.
If you look at the 911 maps, the road name for Island Beach Lane is actually sitting over Island Lake, designating that because it isn't long enough to write it in there. It's on the 911 maps.
It's on the 911.
It's on the 911 maps.
Is it on a county map? I've never.
I haven't looked at a county map.
I just haven't either.
I know it's on the 911 maps, and if you're going to change it, I know that they will have to